What's up, everybody? I'm back with another video game review, and today we're back on the DS stuff. But finally, it is not shovelware. It is a very highly regarded game, and it's an introduction to a new thing for me. Pokemon Black 2. Yes, this is my first ever Pokemon game review. It's not the first time I've ever played Pokemon. I did play Pokemon Go a lot. Plus, I did play some older Pokemon games when I was a lot younger, like when I was with friends and stuff. And I've collected the cards before a little bit. My brother did, and I kind of helped out with that, but not like super in depth at all. But so this was my first true attempt at an experience with Pokemon, because I know Pokemon Go really doesn't really count that much. But this was just the first one I got to. And now I'm going to say right off the bat that when I got this game, kind of like what I did with Tinkerbell, there's only one save file. And so I had to play off of an already existing save file. I ran around as much as I could, did some battles, did that kind of stuff. I was able to reset the game and like do a save file that, like, play on a file that wouldn't save and just be like a temporary thing. So I did get to see some of the introductory stuff and get an introduction to the story, and then also play a little bit later on in the game with the story, and also run around and do some battles, kind of explore the technicalities of the game and all that kind of stuff. So I did as much in-depth work with this as I could to make the best possible review. And I also know that this is not like an early Pokemon game, so there's a lot of stuff that I'm not going to understand quite yet, that I'm probably not going to talk about or as much in depth as other people probably would. So just again, know that going in. This is going to be my review and my review only. Everybody else might have a different opinion. That's okay. So let's jump right into it. First off, I think the graphics are really, really good in this game, especially in the intro. Intro graphics are amazing, but I think the graphics in the rest of the game are really good, especially for a DS game. The graphics are pretty clean, good animations, so all that stuff. Did a good job with that part, so I like that. Stiff walking controls, yeah, very stiff. It just felt like it wouldn't always respond when I wanted to turn somewhere or do something. And I know that's not a big deal because, there's not much about that as when you're battling or something. But when walking around town, it just felt like a little bit of an annoyance, a little bit of a nuisance. So, to play. I thought the areas in the game are really pretty well designed. There's lots of stuff to see in them. They look really good, just like the rest of the game graphically does. There's nothing though super special about their design or their aesthetics that I would say versus like some other video games. But they're not horribly looking. They're pretty in depth, and they can provide a good amount of fun to walk around in and explore in, so that's good. And now we get to the battling aspect. Pokemon is an RPG. It's a turn-style RPG battle concept game. And I've played that before with the Mario and Luigi stuff, and I've also played South Park Fractured But Whole. That's an RPG as well. And I like South Park's battling system. Mario and Luigi's is fine. It's not anything too special, but this one I am not a huge fan of. I will be real. It just seems like the enemy gets more turns than I do. And though it probably is not, that's probably not the case. It's just how I felt personally. And it really doesn't, how the turns are distributed and kind of like the structure of it, for me personally, just didn't make any sense. Now, I do know that was probably implied, some stuff that probably had to be implied because of the fact that, because of, trying to find a good word for it, because this is not the original Pokemon game. But, yeah, just to me, it just didn't make a lot of sense. The game has a pretty linear structure. You really just kind of work with the story. There is a little bit of exploration that you can do, especially later on in the game. But I think the linearness is just fine. It's not anything like super annoying. They don't leave a lot of open world stuff to do other than just collecting and leveling up the Pokemon, which, that's okay. But, you kind of have to expect. They're not going to develop that part too much. They're going to work on the main game the most, and that's what they do. So I do like that the game goes through different seasons, like the world does, and that when you enter a different season, different areas in the game have different things to find. It's like specific Pokemon, for example. I think that gives players a good reason to go through each of the areas and collect the Pokemon specific to that season in that area. That's a really, really good way to keep players engaged longer in the game, in my opinion. So I really, really like that. I thought the battles were just all right. The ending of this game is pretty difficult. I will be honest. And it's a really, really testing ending. Long, very egregious. And that's okay. That's what you want. You want a challenging finish. You want a good climactic finish to the game, but you got to be ready for it. And it can throw maybe if you speed through the game too fast, it's gonna throw some people off. So you just got to know that going into a game. The storyline for this game, like I said, is pretty linear. Linear goes to the story. It's pretty good, but nothing super special. I think that's not really the main focus of the game, as it really shouldn't be. I mean, the story, from what I've read, from what I've heard from other people, the stories in Pokemon games are hit or miss. So I guess that's probably not their strong suit, so I wouldn't expect that to be the case here. And then the pace of the game is not really the greatest in this game, but it's not horrible. You might get some long periods of downtime, but it's not going to be anything like Dream Team, in my opinion. It's a massive, massive game. Much more, I think it's a massive, massive game. But there's more in it, and it keeps the pacing better than a game like Dream Team, in my opinion. So that's really all the notes I had. My final score for Pokemon Black 2. This is going to be difficult. I don't think this is going to be a very fair rating. I might have to go back and re-rate this after I play more Pokemon games. My final score, though, is probably going to have to be, I'll say a 7. 7 out of 10 for now. I enjoyed it, but I wasn't really blown away or anything astounding about it. So, anyways, that's going to do it for this review. If you've ever played Pokemon Black 2, I'd like to know your thoughts about it in the comments section down below. And that's going to do it for this video. So stay tuned for much more amazing content, including more game reviews and other awesome stuff. Till next time, I'll see you guys later. Goodbye.